Check out the previous part if you haven't already. Let's get right back into the video if you have caught up.
There's nothing new. They're nothing new after Dave, but with Dirk, it's almost like he'd be less penetrable without them. You try and focus on the decor, as he clearly wants you to. What do we got going on? Okay, there are themes of puppets, horses, and robots, and musical equipment. It's got the post-ironic whimsy of Dave style, which you figure makes sense, considering the universe's Dave had a hand in stocking it, but with a dash of Equius's unabashed taste. That's a bit of a surprise, but sure. Martha Stewart would fall to her knees, weeping at her defeat, you tell. Utterly destroyed by the feng shui in my cinder block placement. She retired on the spot, you say. The more you play off his jokes, the more he seems to loosen up for real, so you continue. Much better than a scuba dive trip already. What's down there anyway? The ruins of 21st century civilization, mostly. Oh shit. Yeah, boring as hell. He paused and tilts his head, considering. I wouldn't call them boring, necessarily. It's more that I find it cosmically frustrating to swim in literally any radical line and find nothing but wasted leftovers of a dead city. Aside from being dependent on a source of food, the ocean mostly functions for me as a suffocating and inescapable natural barrier between me and the rest of human history. It's a constant, lapping reminder of my situation, so I'm not often hyped to pile the declavars on. Not sure how well my deep personal beef with the imagery of the sea will land you, but there it is. I think it might not be so offensive to me were the metaphor less blatant. It's embarrassing. Anyway, there's the first of my layers off. Feels fresh. Let's keep going. What else have you got? It's a little unsettling how direct he's being about the friendship building process, but it's not like you haven't been categorically pushy to achieve that title with literally everyone you have ever met, with every memory, so fair game. You're sure you can come up with some things you've been curious about. If he's ready to dive in the deep end, and he'll forgive the continued aquatic figurative language, the love quadrangle, the questionable setting of the robotic gift choice for his would-be paramour, the differences of opinion played on the... I can't speak today! This is the last part! I can't be faulted now! Sorry about this, everyone. I'm feeling super tense, if you couldn't tell. I'm not even quipping as much as I usually do. I ain't Spider-Man! He seems to be enjoying the theatricality of the friendship metagaming dance you're doing, so you amp it up for him. You clasp your hands behind your back and pace his room as you monologue, pausing for effect when an impulse strikes you. As you talk, you consider what would be the right issue to end on, to really zing him into opening up. Maybe his feelings about this universe is Dave, or just for fun, maybe where the horse shit comes from. Depending on what you choose, you could end up, loath as I am to interrupt this Ace Attorney monologue, I wouldn't touch that. You look down at where you're about to dramatically place your hand, and there's a goddamn sword there, haphazardly stored in the hands of some fucking dead-eyed puppet. Again, your brain careens down the fleeting pathway. Accidentally, the pressure, a clean slice, blood, a lot of it. Yeah. Leave the katanas for the big boys. Although, if you want a touch weapon, holy shit, do I have an idea. He scoots up to reach into the corner of the room, coming up holding a really shitty blue sword. Sword is a loose term though, and honestly holding it is too. An object so shitty you can barely focus on it, sort of clipping through his hands. He holds it out as best as he can. Ah yes. What the fuck? In the name of the succulent convergence of science and horseshit, I need to see what happens when you touch this thing. You reach out and take it from his hands. It steadies under your grasp. Dirk hops onto his workbench to sit and observe, and you slice it through the air a time or two. What the fuck? Absolutely goddamn incredible. Something about your narrative liminality and rudimentary form must allow you to actually wield this piece of shit artifact I inherited from my bro. The implications of this are likely jack fucking nothing, but it's still easily the best thing I've ever seen. He's leaning forward, laughing, dimples carved in his freckled cheeks. There's a small twist in your heart about it, and you can't place why. You're really just able to hold that fucking thing. He clears his throat and settles down, adjusting his glasses. Thanks for that. Anyway, where were we? Oh, right, you were attempting to locate my weak points. Did you want to keep adding them to the list or zero in on one option? So far, the short answers are 1, a quartet of teens with not a lot of choices. What do you expect? 2, call up the autoresponders if you want us to hash that one out. 3, it's all under control. I guess it all boils down to the same general topic, really. His friends. That's what the whole thing ends up anyway, right? Since you're his pathway to being able to hang out with him now. Dirk just shrugs. Huh. You thought he'd have a stronger opinion on that one. Doesn't he want to hang out with his friends? Doesn't he really finally want to meet Jake? He wrinkles his face like you shoved a lemon in his mouth. Come on, dude. You can't just spirit me away to the person I want to see the most right off the bat. At least make me try and earn it first. He shifts his weight. The light from the window bounces off the choppy mirror of the ocean is bright against his back. Does he have to earn it? You mean he doesn't think it's been hard enough already? His laugh this time is hollow. Is there a cap on that? You're not sure, but your whole existence is a series of cheat codes, so what else does he expect from you? You whip the sword around a few times to prove your point, but it kind of makes you dizzy to watch. You put it back in the corner. Anyway, you know he'll cave at some point. How else is he gonna get to see them now that the game is off? By the way, 16 minutes now, we have not had a break once. He shrugs again. What? What? Like, he does know they're not playing anymore, right? Like, they're even talking about a larger operation to shut the whole thing down for everyone on the planet. I know they're thinking that's what's happening, but I'm not worried about it. They'll all play when the time comes. How in the world does he know that? Last you checked with any of them, they all had moved on. I haven't gotten around to convincing them yet, but I will. It is clear that you spend a lot of time with them, but they're my friends too. I think I know what they'll do. His dismissiveness is raising your heart to raise hackles. That's not really the point though, you say. Won't trying to get them back on board just amp up the conflict with his friend group? And more importantly, why bother trying to make that choice for them? He doesn't even need the game anymore. You can just take him to see them. He can skip the machinations and just like hang out with his friends without having to prove anything to anyone. It's easy. The slight tightening of his eyebrows is the only thing that shows his frustration. The rest of him is still. The vowels on the drawl are slick and sharp. Black ice on curved country road. It's not that simple. Do you think I don't want to see them? Do you think I tear off a single page of my sweet row and hella Jeff quote a day counter without thinking about that? There are lots of cards on a lot of hands here, which I'm not sure you're truly appreciating the importance of. I can't just fold mine and hope your shit works out instead. Things are in motion. Things have been in motion since before I was born. You can't just stop them without massive fallout. Yeah, you're not saying you know all the answers, just that you know some of them, and you feel like he could trust you a little bit. He looks at you like you've slapped him. Trust you? Well, yeah. A weak puff of air leaves his mouth as he shakes his head. This entire morning has been an exercise in trust. Has it? Dirk is still for a minute. He probably still staring at you from behind the shades. When he speaks again, his voice is steady. The room is heavy with every ounce of tension he's suppressing. Okay, let's sketch this out. What are the parameters of vulnerability that would count if the ones I'm extending don't? You were just freewheeling there, but you guess you could come up with something concrete for him? Okay, how about this? He does all the dangerous scuba diving and sword fighting and rocket boarding and shit that could go sideways at any moment, but they wouldn't even let you zap him. Here's an example. Okay, yes, that is true. I want to be the only one in charge of endangering my own life, you got me. But trust isn't the only meaningful if it's given completely, or in terms of physical safety. I've been preparing myself for this, for you, ever since I heard you were making the rounds. I was ready to... He trails off, shaking his head. His wordlessness seems to frustrate him more than anything you've said. He seems really unpracticed at getting riled up, and you wonder how often someone pushes his buttons like this. You're not really sure how the two of you got to this point. Argumentative isn't your main mode either, and you can tell you pushed too far. Never mind. Here. He hops off the workbench, rolls his shoulders, and grabs your hand. Do it. You don't ask where. You pick somewhere close by, but it's scary enough for his thrill seeker ass to feel like it was worth the effort. Zap! The air at the top of the tower of Dirk's roof is calmer than you thought it would be. He drops your hand and sits back, leaning against the landing. Crushed it. See, sometimes trying new shit and trusting people with your well-being can be fine. Sometimes all you need is a friend to prove to you that they have your back. Dirk scrunches his face up like you're embarrassing him. You mean, empirically speaking, it seems like what just happened is solid proof that, okay, yeah, I get it, thanks. He's smiling, so you don't push into that thank you. But you wonder, after a minute of looking out over the ocean with him, if it's time to scoot things along. You aren't in a hurry, really, but you were getting somewhere before, even if it felt a little uncomfortable. He's trying. Maybe harder than anyone has actively tried to befriend you yet. The fact that you think this is still sort of funny to you, but maybe Dirk isn't this transparent to everyone. Maybe it's just you and your non-stop thirst to know people. How much does this boy want it to be known? You remember your earlier skepticism about him and laugh to yourself. You haven't had to make yourself try to like him at all. You just do. Weird, uptight shit and everything. There's a lot of Dirk going on in there, but you're ready to try and understand him more. That's what you do. So you press on. Oh my god, it has been 21 minutes and we finally get a choice. Oh my good gracious. I'm gonna have to cut this off at some point. Anyways, hey, go watch the next video whenever that happens. I'm gonna make the next recording right now, haha. Goodbye, see you in the next video.